A day after Moscow expressed its solidarity with Cuba, China on Tuesday also pledged continued support for Cuba as the island grapples with a worsening jet fuel shortage. Now, Air Canada, WestJet, Air Transat, they've cancelled their flights to Cuba because of anticipated fuel shortages. It comes after the US President Donald Trump had threatened in January to slap tariffs on any nation sending fuel to Cuba, effectively cutting off the island's supply to aviation fuel.
Cuba is reeling from a US-ordered halt in oil shipments from Caracas. Havana on Monday had warned international airlines that jet fuel will no longer be available on the island beginning on Tuesday. As a result, Air Canada said it was suspending services to Cuba from Monday due to a lack of guaranteed fuel supply at airports in the country. Announcing the decision, Canada's national carrier Air Canada said in a statement, Air Canada took the decision following advisories issued by governments regarding the unreliability of the aviation fuel supply chain at Cuban airports. It is projected that as of February 10, aviation fuel will not be commercially available at the island's airports. Other airlines including WestJet and Air Transat also cancelled flights due to anticipated fuel shortages. While Spanish carrier Air Europa said it would make a refueling stop at Santo Domingo Airport in the Dominican Republic. Development comes after US President Donald Trump threatened in January to slap tariffs on any nation sending fuel to Cuba. Under pressure from the United States, Mexico on Monday confirmed halt of crude oil shipments to Cuba. However, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum also pledged support to Cuba.
Pueblo de México siempre solidario.
Yes, there will be more support from the people of Mexico, always in solidarity. No one can ignore the situations that the people of Cuba are experiencing right now because of the sanctions being imposed on any country that sends oil by the United States in a very unjust manner.
Confirming that there had been no reports of its citizens being stranded in Cuba, Beijing on Tuesday expressed willingness to assist Cuba.
据了解，目前没有接到
I would like to reiterate that China firmly supports Cuba in safeguarding its national sovereignty and security, opposes foreign interference, and resolutely opposes any actions or inhuman acts that deprive the Cuban people of their rights to survival and development. China will, as always, provide Cuba with support and assistance to the best of its ability.
Words of solidarity for Cuba also came from Russia. Moscow pledged to act against any sort of military intervention. It also expressed solidarity with Cuba and Venezuela.
The situation in Cuba is really critical. We are aware of this. We are in intensive contact with our Cuban friends through diplomatic and other channels. Indeed, the US attempt to suffocate are causing many difficulties for the country. We are discussing with our Cuban friends possible solution to these problems, at least by providing all possible assistance.
Cuba has historically relied on Venezuela to provide much of its jet fuel, but the Caribbean island nation has not received any crude or refined products from its top ally since mid-December, when the US moved to block the Southern American nation's exports. Fuzel Ahmed reports for DD India.